A few weeks ago, I was playing with Google Earth just to get some video and photos of my neighborhood because I don't have a drone, so I wanted to use the free service that Google Earth is using. And you could even go back on my YouTube and see a short little video of like the aerial view of the jungle temple in my neighborhood here. But anyway, while I was using this, I panned around just off the coast here, 20 kilometers west, and I found some really strange things in the ocean. Structures that Google Earth picks up and they're putting on there. They're not blacking it out or blocking it out and hazing it out. And it's clearly man-made structures that sits deep beneath the ocean in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Costa Rica. And when I've brought this up to people, literally like archaeologists for the country, they'd never heard of it or seen it before, but it's between basically Parita and Jaco and Cocos Island, which has a lot of history, treasure hunters and ancient civilizations and stuff, and now it's a national park, and they found hundreds of millions of dollars worth of gold treasure there already. Between here and Cocos Island, there is an underground structure that is nearly, I'm trying to estimate the size of it, so it's essentially the size of the state of Punta Arenas. So one of the 5 or 6 states in the entire country. This structure is like 1/6, 1/8 the size of the entire country of Costa Rica. Now I'm gonna try to zoom in on it while I'm doing a live video here, and then I've screenshotted a few photos from the first time I found this of the structure itself. Anybody out there, ancient alien hunters or what's his name, Josh Gates, archaeology stuff, ancient civilization, anybody that looks into ancient Atlantis and stuff like that, reach out to me, Tobin Osuski. I can show you exactly where this is. I mean, I know people that could take us there with boats. So it's very interesting. I just have no way of getting there and accessing it, but it seems like whatever that structure is has some type of continuation subsurface all the way to the land here, maybe through caves or tunnels in these mountains from ancient times. So now we're talking like this might be pre-deluge civilization, because if it's that deep in the ocean and it might have been raised out 20,000 years ago, it's a different story entirely, but it's definitely not part of any civilization that was here in the past 500 to 1,000 years. So without further ado, I'm gonna go to Google Earth and try to spot it again, find it, and then I'm gonna show you some screenshots of it zoomed in. So tell me what you think in the comments below, share it, tag people that have television shows that investigate this stuff, because we need to get somebody here investigating this, because this is like the, I'm not gonna say it properly, but it's like something Onanuni structure in Japan or something. Look that up, but yeah, it's very similar to that, and I haven't heard of anybody making note of this before. Okay, so this is my house in Vasconia of Parita. I'm just gonna zoom out. So that was at 30 meters we started. Now you're gonna see the ocean at some point come into play when I get a bit further, so you can see that's Vasconia, and now it's zooming out towards the mountains, and what will be beneath the phone here, you'll see the ocean showing up, right? So you've got this whole entire mountain range here, and this is our like bowl that goes to this big giant beach that is Parita and Estorrillos and Jaco and Playa Hermosa up here. So now you'll see there's some like, you know, mountains showing up as the shelf drops. So this is where the shelf of the ocean drops, and it's created all this suction, and that's why so many people drown from the currents here, because it's literally pulling. You can see there's almost like a cave entrance structure there that goes, you know, that's deep, thousands of feet down, and that goes into these mountains, and this is where we are. So like this, if there is some type of like ancient or advanced civilization race that's living down here, that is a giant cave entryway. And there's like smaller ones here, you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's like 2 small caves. That's a giant like entrance, like a garage door cave, and you can see some interesting structures here. These look like 2 mountains, but they also could be artificial structures. But let's continue to zoom out, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what's going on here. So let's find where Coco's Island is. Okay, so you can see Coco's Island. Now I'm going to zoom in here. Look at this. So let's actually zoom out one more. So you can see this is Coco's Island. And going directly towards San Jose, there's like this road structure. Do you see that? Look at Coco's Island underneath. This is underneath the ocean. There's like these road structures going. And now we're going to zoom in on this area specifically. So look at that. So right by Coco's Island, look where that little grabber is. Look at this structure. Now this is huge, but it looks like there's roads coming in and out, and actually roads that kind of go over towards Panama. But let's just say there's a cave here, and these are roads leading. Now I'm going to zoom in a little more. Look at this structure that shows up. Look at that. The square angles. That looks like a mall or an airport. But you can start to see the other striations show up. There's like, oh, here. There's a giant thick road that goes there, another one that goes there, another one that's going there. And you could tell like what's a natural structure, seemingly, like mountains and so on. And then all of a sudden there's this. Look at that. So this is the structure I found beneath the sea in the ocean, and it looks like, you know, this is some type of like wide pathway of some sort, and then there's kind of roads leading in, and this looks like building structure because that's raised up, so it looks like some giant building structure. Now we're gonna go, I'm just gonna switch this. You can see I'm 2D, I'm gonna switch it to 3D. And it doesn't really change much, but maybe you guys saw some differences. But how curious is that, right? Now I'm just gonna zoom out. Well, you can actually see, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. You can see structures on the structures. Like that's like a dome. It's so interesting. And there's more road that goes down this way. See? See, it's going down that way. And then it comes up in here, and that just, look at those. That's an interesting structure where, here, that face. Right? Isn't this the most interesting underground structure ever? It has to be intelligently created, man-made, because look at the rest of the surroundings. Like it's not, there's nothing else like it around, and it's raised up, so it could have been part of an area that was out of the ocean in previous civilizations, and Coco's Island would have been a mountain for them. But look, you can't really notice it, and there's striations, but the moment you start zooming in there to Coco's Island, that structure clearly shows up. And let's zoom out again. I'm going to turn it to 2D so it angles so you kind of see. Ooh. There's 2D, and then it's going to start rotating so you can see leading up to Coco's Island. There is that clear geometric structure. It's like somebody did it with a compass, like drawing it with an actual compass. It's such perfect angles, and that perfect line right from San Jose, right from the land of Costa Rica. So if somebody can identify what that is, or find somebody to explore this area, look, it's like coming up right from the center there. I absolutely guarantee there is going to be treasure of all sorts there. So if we can get somebody to search that, please contact me. Bring me along for the journey. I am interested to know what this structure is sitting off the coast of the Central Pacific coast of Costa Rica, just before Coco's Island, but seemingly connected through this chain, which obviously at some point was raised out of water, and this was a landmass. There is some giant structure built by an ancient civilization there.